The day my parents sold my grandfather's inheritance behind my back, they celebrated with champagne. My mother smiled. My father shook hands with the buyers. And my older brother? He looked at me like I was already erased from the family. They thought they had won, because according to every document, the estate no longer belonged to me. But while everyone was celebrating, I reached into my backpack and pulled out one envelope, one paper, the only paper my grandfather told me never to lose. And the moment their lawyer read it, the entire room went silent. My grandfather built everything from nothing. A massive countryside estate, farmland, rental properties, a family business worth millions. But unlike my parents, he never cared about money. He cared about loyalty. And somehow, I became his favorite grandchild. Not because I was special, but because I listened. Every summer, I stayed with him while my brother spent time partying with rich friends. Grandpa used to sit with me on the porch late at night and say, "Money destroys families faster than hate." Back then, I thought he was exaggerating. I was wrong. Scene 2. The Golden Child. My older brother Daniel was everything my parents loved. Confident, charming, manipulative. He could lie directly to someone's face and still sound honest. My parents treated him like the future CEO of the family. And me? I was the quiet backup child. The emotional one. The too soft son. Still, Grandpa trusted me more, and everyone in the family noticed it. Especially Daniel. That's when the tension started. Small comments, passive-aggressive jokes, little humiliations during dinners. But after Grandpa died, everything changed. Scene 3. The funeral. The funeral felt fake. People crying for a man they barely visited. My mother acting devastated for relatives. Daniel pretending to care. But I noticed something strange. The day after the funeral, my parents suddenly became secretive. Phone calls behind closed doors, lawyers visiting the house, whispers stopping when I entered rooms. Then one night, I overheard Daniel say, "If we move fast, he'll never know." And that sentence changed everything. 2 weeks later, my parents called a family meeting. That's when they dropped the bomb. The inheritance had already been sold. The land, the estate, everything, sold to a development company. I froze. I asked how that was possible. Grandpa's will clearly included me. Then my father calmly said, "You signed your rights away." I stared at him. What? My mother slid papers across the table. Old documents. My signature. But then I realized they were papers Daniel tricked me into signing months earlier. He told me they were insurance forms. My own family had manipulated me. And the worst part? They didn't even look guilty. Scene 5. Humiliation. Daniel smiled at me across the table. That smile still makes me angry. Then he said, "You were never meant to handle money." My father agreed. He said I was too emotional to manage real assets. My mother just sat there quietly, avoiding eye contact. That hurt more than anything. Not the money, not the betrayal, the silence. I walked out of the house that night with one bag. No calls, no apology, nothing. And for weeks, I completely broke down. Scene 6. Grandpa's secret. 1 month later, I visited Grandpa's old cabin for the last time before the property transferred. I just wanted closure. But while cleaning old drawers, I found something hidden beneath a wooden panel, an envelope with my name on it. Inside was a handwritten letter and one legal document. My hands started shaking as I read it. Because Grandpa knew this might happen, and he prepared for it. The document was a conditional ownership clause, completely separate from the main inheritance. It stated that if the estate was ever sold without unanimous approval from all beneficiaries, ownership of the central property rights would automatically transfer to me. My grandfather outplayed everyone, even from the grave. And suddenly, everything changed. Because without those property rights, the entire sale became legally useless. The developers didn't actually own the land. I did. Scene 8. Building the trap. I stayed quiet. That was the hardest part. My parents thought they had won. Daniel started buying luxury watches and posting vacation photos online. Meanwhile, I hired a lawyer, a very good one, and together, we waited until the developers invested millions into construction. Then, we struck. Scene 9. The lawsuit. The court hearing was chaos. The developers were furious. My parents looked terrified. Daniel still acted confident, until my lawyer revealed Grandpa's hidden clause. The judge went silent reading it. Then came the best moment of my life. Daniel's face. For the first time ever, he looked scared. The sale was frozen immediately. Construction stopped. Millions lost overnight. And suddenly, everyone wanted to talk to me again. Funny how money changes people. 3 days later, my parents came to my apartment, not to apologize, to negotiate. My father tried sounding calm. My mother cried. Daniel stayed quiet the whole time. And finally, my father asked, "What do you want?" I looked at them for a long time. Then I said, "I wanted a family." Silence. Nobody could look me in the eyes, because deep down, they knew this was never about money. They chose greed over blood, and now they were paying for it. Scene 11, Final Revenge. In the end, I didn't destroy them. I did something worse. I walked away. I took legal ownership of Grandpa's original cabin and farmland, the only places he truly loved. The rest, I let the courts handle. Daniel lost almost everything in legal fees. My parents lost their reputation, and the developers sued them for fraud. But the real ending happened 6 months later. I was sitting on Grandpa's porch one evening, watching the sunset, when I reread his final letter. At the bottom, he wrote one sentence: "If they betray you for money, let them lose you too." And honestly, that hurt them more than any revenge ever could. Fade out.